Let's go ahead and start this episode carefully, because the next episode relies on it quite heavily. When someone says truth is relative, or the equal claim truth is subjective, or maybe even that's your truth, what do they mean? Because they usually don't mean 2 plus 2 is 5 for some other cultures. They don't mean when you're feeling different, gravity works different. They usually mean something a little softer, or at least I hope they do. They usually mean something like people have different perspectives. No one has absolute certainty. Morality changes over time, or I don't want to argue. Those are not irrational statements, but they're not the same thing as saying there is no objective truth. So before we go further, we need definitions. Truth, in the classical sense, means this, just simply, a claim is true if it corresponds to reality. That's it. If I say it's raining, the statement is true if and only if it is actually raining. Truth is not performance. It's not preference. It's not emotion. It's not consensus. It's not intensity of belief. Truth is whether something is actually the case. Now here's the crucial distinction. Objective truth does not mean we are infallible. Does not mean we're omniscient. It does not mean we cannot make mistakes. It means reality does not bend when we disagree with it. You can be wrong about reality, but can reality be wrong about reality? And that's our starting point. Let's go ahead and start by examining the strongest version of the claim. There is no objective truth. It sounds humble. It sounds tolerant. It even sounds a little modern. The very moment you say it, something strange happens. Because you can ask one question. Is that statement objectively true? If the answer is no, well, then the claim reduces to preference. If the answer is yes, well, then there's at least one objective truth. Either way, the denial collapses. It's called a performative contradiction. The content of that statement contradicts the act of asserting it universally. Now, let's be precise. This argument does not prove Christianity. It does not prove moral realism. It doesn't prove God. It proves one thing. You cannot coherently deny objective truth. The denial refuses itself. That's the floor, not the ceiling. But a thoughtful person won't say there's no truth. They'll say something a little more careful. They'll say something like, humans do not have a God's eye access to truth. All knowledge is filtered through culture and language. Moral norms evolve. Claims to truth have justified oppression. And those are serious. So let's respond seriously. Yes, we are fallible. Yes, culture shapes interpretation. Yes, moral understanding has developed over time. Yes, truth claims have been used for abuse. But none of that eliminates objective truth. It describes our limit in accessing it. It describes the ceiling. There's a massive difference between we might be wrong and there's nothing to be wrong about. The first is humility, and the second one is nihilism. Fallibility does not erase truth. It presupposes it. You can't be fallible if there's no truth beyond you to be fallible against. Now, this stops being philosophical the moment we talk about morality. If truth is constructed, if morality is negotiated, if right and wrong are just social agreements, then no society has ever been objectively wrong, including slave societies, including genocidal regimes, including cultures that decided certain humans counted as less. Now, someone might say slavery was wrong for us today, but not wrong for them back then. But that's not how we speak. We don't say slavery was outdated. We say slavery was wrong. Full stop. That word wrong, it's not scientific. It's not sociological. It's moral. And moral judgments assume objective standards. So if slavery was wrong, even when it was legal, even when it was profitable, and even when it was widely accepted, then morality stands above culture. And if morality stands above culture, truth stands above culture. And that will lead directly into the next episode. Because if truth is relative, human value is negotiable. And when human value becomes negotiable, slavery never dies. It only changes vocabulary. Now, let's be fair. Some will say we can ground morality without religion. And there are some serious attempts. Rational agency through Kant. Social contract through Hobbes and Rawls. Evolutionary cooperation, human flourishing. Shared vulnerability. And these aren't foolish ideas. But each faces pressure. If value depends on rational agency, what about infants? What about the severely disabled? If value depends on social contract, what protects the minority? If value depends on evolutionary survivability, why not eliminate the weak? And finally, if value depends on flourishing, who defines flourishing? Every horizontal grounding eventually requires power to enforce its definitions. Now, that doesn't mean secular thinkers are moral. It does mean that their system struggles to justify intrinsic value. And intrinsic means not earned, not granted, not negotiated, not revocable, but valuable in themselves. And once you claim intrinsic value, you're not making a physical claim. You're making a metaphysical claim. You're saying something about what humans are, not merely how we feel about them. Christianity does not ground human value in strength, or intelligence, or productivity, or usefulness. It says humans bear the image of God. Imago Dei. That's not poetic language. It's metaphysical grounding. It's that value comes from source. And if God is the ultimate source of reality and humans reflect him, then human worth is non-negotiable. And here's the inversion. Truth in Christianity is not abstract. It's personal. Not your truth, not my truth, but truth embodied. It came to this earth, became a man, walked for us, and died for us. That does not eliminate humility. It demands it. Truth judges us. We do not create it. So maybe the real question isn't, is truth relative? Maybe it's this. Am I willing to be corrected by something outside of myself? That's the dividing line. Relativism feels like freedom, but it's freedom from correction. And freedom from correction is drift. Objective truth is not a cage. It's a compass. It does not enslave you. It anchors you. And without an anchor, the strongest currents win. History has shown us what those currents look like.